platformers. One of the most popular genres of video games to date. Well, I mean, to be fair, they were one of the first, and their popularity was very much pioneered by Mario. But are you here for a history lesson on platformers? No! You're here for me to talk about this yellow son of a gun. Hello everybody, my name is Jamekson, and welcome to Spark the Electric Jester 3, one of the best 3D platformers I've ever played. And it was all made by one singular person. No, I am not lying. The Spark the Electric Jester series is a high-speed platforming series developed by a Brazilian solo dev, Lake Feppard. What is a high-speed platformer, you ask? Well, it's a platformer designed for the player to move through each stage as fast as possible, attempting to get a better time each run. In a way, it's very similar to racing games, especially Trackmania. These types of games are usually pretty awkward at first, but as you adapt to the controls and levels more, you'll become faster and faster, gaining better flow. So while the game itself is not actually that long, they are usually designed with replayability in mind. But anyway, I think that's sufficient enough for an intro. I mean, I have a crap ton of work I gotta do, so I gotta get this done quick. So please, lie down, grab a snack, and let me show you the absolute masterpiece that is Spark the Electric Jester 3. To start things off, we need to talk about Spark the Electric Jester. The character, not the game. A simple college dropout turned street performer turned absolute legend after fighting a robot demigod in space and fending off the robot revolution. Now he's attempting to take down Fark, his robot double who killed the leader of the robot revolution in the previous games. He formed an oppressive peacekeeping force called the Fark Force in order to save the world from a destructive AI named Clarity, but Spark is a bit of a rebel who wants to be free because he wasn't allowed to cash in at check he got for saving the world in the first game, and also believes Spark is lying about Clarity. Got all that? Great, because now it's time to talk about movement. Throughout the game, you will acquire many tools to accomplish your mission. Seriously, Spark's moveset is vast, from simple dashes and double jumps to wall runs, rail grinding, rail boosting, super dashes, energy dashes, etc. With so many tools at your disposal, each stage just becomes a skate park to test your abilities. Most of the main stages are massive though, giving you plenty of opportunities to cash in on those abilities, especially if you're into speedrunning. Spark 3 is all about playing your way. With so many abilities at your disposal, you can utilize them in any way you want, rather than adapting to the playstyle given by a small set of tools, like in other games. Not only that, but the game just controls really well. The sense of speed you can get while still retaining controls is intoxicating. When you nail down the quick decision making and memorize the layout of a level, the flow state is better than any other speed-based game I've ever played. However, if you've been paying attention to my gameplay, you'll notice that I'm not exactly the best Spark gamer in existence. While the flow state is incredibly satisfying, actually getting to that point is pretty difficult. I've rarely been able to have a perfect run of a level, and that's just several replays. However, unlike Trackmania where a single screw up usually means a complete restart, Spark levels are pretty fun even when not playing perfectly. The skill floor is pretty low, but the skill ceiling is very high, making it the perfect balance of easy to learn but hard to master. As a casual gamer, this is perfect.
Hey, James, doesn't this game have combat or something though?
Oh, yeah. This game is also part hack and slash, making it very similar to games like Devilmaycry and Metal Gear, hold on, what's that music? Sorry. Stuff like this tends to happen whenever I mention the cursed game. But back on topic, Spark 3 does have a fully fleshed out combat system. It is nothing special though. Light attack, heavy attack, chain them together to form combos, and juggle enemies. New attacks and combo finishers can be purchased from Romula's shop, along with new powers and characters. One such attack being a little finger gun you can shoot by pressing the right trigger, and you can actually use this finger gun to juggle enemies a little bit. Now, you may have seen me playing as a white version of Spark with a scythe that is a little bit too big for him. Well, that is Spectre Jester, one of the Jester powers. In previous games, Jester powers were special abilities that could be swapped to on a whim, each with their own combat and platform mechanics. However, now there's only one power, which is Spectre, trading off speed for more damage and cool as hell looking attack animations, along with a wider range of attack. Plus, his dash is altered to allow you to phase through obstacles and attacks, which is a godsend for some of the later stages. As I said though, there is only one Jester power, because instead of making more powers, Fepard decided to make more playable characters instead. These characters include Float, someone who's a boss fight in the previous game, Fark himself, and also a fusion between Spark and Fark called Sfarks. I think that's how you pronounce it. Each of these characters have their own minor deviations that make them slightly different to play than base Spark. However, it's not really enough, and most of these characters feel mostly the same to play as. I usually just stick to base Spark and have Spectre Jester as a sidearm for its different attack animations because it's the only one that actually plays slightly differently. And that brings me to my next major flaw with the game's combat. Almost every single boss has so much health, but also so little aggression, and it makes them really tedious to deal with sometimes. The only boss that I really found this to be immune to was the Guardian and Throwback. Meanwhile, the final boss of the game barely ever actually attacks you. It just makes the combat feel a lot more stale and boring. The combat is just much more enjoyable when you're facing hordes of standard enemies instead of bosses. When looking for a definitive opinion on combat though, I think it's fine. Not amazing, fine. Combos and juggling are satisfying to pull off, the attacks are clean and snappy, parrying is really satisfying, but there's nothing here that pushes it forward to be great, and that especially is a fault of the enemy design. However, again, this game was just made by mostly one person, and the platforming is the focus. I just think that if the combat had a little bit more time in the oven, especially the enemy design, it would turn out a lot better. But aside from that, this is a near perfect game in my opinion. Except I'm sad that Fepard didn't bring back FM City, which was in both of the previous games and is a pretty important location. In the end, all three Spark games have a very special place in my heart. Not just because they're fantastic games, but because they represent an incredible accomplishment made by the man behind them, Fepard. For mostly being by himself, Fepard delivered an incredible trilogy that deserves to be recognized more than it is. I mean hell, when I look up Spark 3, I get foams. So to Fepard, thank you for these amazing games, and I hope to see good things on what you're working on next. Oh, a racing game? Inspired by F-Zero? Oh I gotta get this ASAP. And to the viewers who somehow managed to stay watching this for the entire video, thank you greatly for sticking through to the end and dealing with my insane rants about a video game I love. Also, I'm obligated to say this, but please like and subscribe. Would be much appreciated. But anyway, goodbye and have a good day. Oh my god, wait, that music. They put FM City in the credits!